belief, though many Muslims may hold it. You ask them where is Allah, they say everywhere. However, this is not the correct answer. We know the correct answer because there is an authentic hadith in Sahih Muslim in which one of the companions by the name of Muawiyah ibn al-Hakam, he explained that he had a slave girl who was looking after his sheep. One day he came and found some sheep missing. He asked her about it, and she said a wolf came and took off the sheep, took away some sheep. So he became very upset and he slapped her on her face. When he did that, he realized immediately that he had done something very wrong. Prophet Muhammad had forbidden the striking of anybody in the face. Not a child, not an animal. Forbidden in Islam. Again, some people might say, but no, my parents used to hit me in my face all the time. Well, this was wrong on their part. This is wrong. Islamically, it is forbidden. So, when this happened, the companion realized, as I said, he had done wrong. He wanted to do some form of repentance for it. He knew that just saying I'm sorry was not enough. He felt he wanted to do something greater, which would completely erase that sin on his part. So he came to the Prophet, may God's peace and blessing be upon him, and informed him about it. When he told the Prophet, the Prophet was very upset. He became very angry. This was really abuse. He didn't like it at all, didn't tolerate this kind of behavior at all. Then the companion, when he saw him so upset, he said, well, can I free her? Can I set her free as a means of atonement? So the Prophet said, okay, bring her here. When he brought her, he asked her, the first question he asked her was, where is Allah? He didn't ask her, do you believe in Allah? Why? Because the people of Mecca, the pagans, they believed in Allah. They believed in Allah, but it was mixed up. As Allah said in the Quran, وَإِن سَأَلْتَهُمْ مَنْ خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ لَيَقُولُنَّ اللَّهُ. If you ask them who created the heavens and earth, they will say Allah. So this is something recognized amongst them. But the idea was confused. Somehow they believed that Allah could become a part of His creation, etc., etc. So the Prophet ﷺ asked her to clarify, not that you believe in Allah, but have you got a correct concept of Allah? Have you understood from Islamic teachings who Allah is? So she said, when he asked her, where is Allah? She said, above the heavens, fi sama. This was her answer. And the Prophet ﷺ heard it, and he didn't comment on it. At that point, he said, and who am I? And she said, you are the messenger of Allah. So he turned to Muawiyah and said to him, free her because she's a true believer. So here we have what? We have the Prophet ﷺ freeing a woman on the basis that she said Allah is above the heavens. He confirmed it here. He asked her and confirmed her statement by saying free her because she's a true believer. So, when we look at the issue of you cannot say Allah is everywhere, it's not a matter of me saying. I'm the one that's saying that. I'm repeating what the Prophet ﷺ said, what he confirmed. So this is the correct belief with regards to where Allah is. And somebody might ask, well, what's the big deal? Why are we going to question about this? Why even make something about this? Well, the reality is that most of the people involved in some form or other of idolatry, it is based on this belief. They believe somehow that God, that Allah, world soul, or whatever they call it, is infused in their idols or their objects. I've spoken with Hindus before, asked them, why do you worship these objects? We say, we don't worship the object. We worship God who is focused on the object. So they have this, confused idea because they believe that Allah is everywhere. So this opens the door for such practices. Whereas from the Islamic perspective, this is totally prohibited. And you find the Prophet ﷺ forbidding any forms of things which are even related to idolatry and the pagan gods, etc., etc. A question. Recently, I received a message on the internet saying, Coca-Cola, when looked at in the mirror, says, La Muhammad Mecca. Please comment. Assalamu alaikum. Well, I've come across this also. In fact, I was just in England recently and somebody was trying to show this to me. They had a glass and the name Coca-Cola was on it. They were trying to look at it from the back and show how this said really La Muhammad. And So, but this is really, exaggeration. We're going to extremes here. The word is not, when you look at Coca-Cola and you look at the sea and that, I mean, if you stretch your imagination, you eliminate from your mind certain obvious calligraphic errors, what would be calligraphic errors, then you could stretch and pull out of it Muhammad. But, of course, as I said, this is going to extremes. Islam really doesn't ask us to do this. Perhaps as a reaction to some things which have happened in the media, where some Islamic symbols or Muslim symbols have been used, to promote some form of corruption. And of course, that Islam prohibits this. We find that in spite of all of that, Muslims continue to find such things and bring it to the attention of the public, to some degree making Muslims seem quite ludicrous. So my advice is really to leave this, don't get involved in it. If there's something positive, well, no harm in looking at the positive aspects of it. Where it is something negative like this, as this question came, then it's best to avoid it. Okay, our next question. When non-Muslims call on God, they also generally look up to the sky by instinct. Is this proof, could this be used as proof that God is above the heavens? Yes. Yes, this could be used as part of the proof. Because it is natural for people, when they make their prayers, as our writer said, to look upwards, if there is one hand upwards. It's natural for them to do so. If they're strongly believing Allah is everywhere, then there's no need. I mean, why raise your hands up in the air and raise your eyes here? You can just pray down towards your book, or even raise your hands towards your book. So this is something of an actual argument for the presence of a God being above the heavens. And though we talk about him being above the heavens, we're not trying to limit him into some particular location, because above the heavens is a massive existence that we can hardly imagine. So Allah being above that is in fact indicating his greatness, his completeness in terms of covering everything, his power over all things. He hears our prayers, etc. The next question. What if a person had an equal number of good deeds and bad deeds? Well, Allah will benefit this person in one way or another, so that one side will win over. The point is that it's equal, the idea of people just being caught, equally in sin, equally in righteousness, and that is multiplied righteousness. This is going to be a very, very rare occurrence. It's not a norm, And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He will, though there may be some hesitation in terms of a direct ruling coming, He will multiply the deeds of those who have done good, if their evil has not been a major evil, and in that way, their good deeds will benefit them and they will go on to paradise. Next question. Can the word Mawla, commonly used in the Indian subcontinent, be used for Allah? Mawla. Well, yes, it is one of the titles. Anta Mawlana. This is in Surah Al-Baqarah, فَانْصُرْنَا عَلَى الْقَوْمِ الْكَافِرِينَ. You are our Mawla, our guardian, the one who would look after us. This is one of the attributes of Allah. So if a person put before it, the term Mawla, as I said, though it means guardian or Lord, it could mean sort of Lord, master, but it also means like servant. Mawla is also servant or client. This is another translation for it. And anybody who accepted Islam, they didn't have a family, previous family. They would be called Mawla, for example, and give it the name of the family to whom they declared Islam or joined. Mawla in that sense. So obviously that aspect of the meaning would not be applicable to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but the one that's lower, etc., is applicable. People in the subcontinent use this as a title for scholars, Maulana, right? Maulana. This is permissible. One is not intending Allah here, but just a title to indicate some level of scholarship. Question, what is the ruling regarding housemaids who travel alone and work here? Is it allowed for Muslim ladies to do that? If so, can they go for Hajj or Umrah with their employers? Well, yes, as a general principle, they shouldn't travel alone, and being put in this kind of a situation is a very dangerous situation for women. You know, they may be harmed, and there's a portion of women who get harmed in this circumstance. You know, so much so that some countries at different points in time have banned that their citizens, when females travel abroad for employment, because there's so much harm that has come to them. But generally speaking, people look at the good as being greater than the evil, so it's a continuing program. So should they travel alone? No, they shouldn't. Should they travel in a group which is a safe group? Well, if not necessary, then that would be better. Can they go for Hajj or Umrah? Yes, they could. You know, if they're already there, their employer is going, they may go for Hajj or Umrah. Nothing prevents that. Well, with that, dear viewers, we would like to share some more with you in this segment, but we'll share or save these to our next program. We hope you'll continue to send in your questions, to write in, mail in, fax in, to me, Dr. Bilal Phillips, Sharjah Television, PO Box 111, Sharjah, UAE, United Arab Emirates, the main contact. Otherwise, you may call me at my office in Dubai, the Islamic Information Center, or Discover Islam Center. That is 0439621990. And if I'm not able to answer, you may also call on Brother Uthman Dari or Brother Abdul Latif. We have a number of people there. And there's also Sister Mediha, who's handling our library. She may answer your questions also, or direct you to one of us or to some book or etc. which could help you get your questions answered. And my email, of course, fld3@hotmail.com. We have received a number of emails, and we'll continue to try to answer them as they come. With that, dear viewers, we now bid you farewell. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.